So, happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. I'm Shannon Hinderberger. I am the owner of Shannon Lee Strategy. I simplify online strategies for small businesses and solopreneurs, entrepreneurs in under 10 hours a month. This is a dual broadcast on Facebook and Instagram. So the camera's going to be all over the place. And today we're talking about how to get started on Instagram and Facebook stories. I covered this yesterday on my Tip Tuesday, and I have 3 simple steps. And they are basically observe, figure out how you're going to do it differently, block the time, and do it. And so I'm going to kind of go a little bit more into what those mean for me and how you can apply those to your business, because anybody can apply it to their business, a product-based business, service-based business, a brand. A brand can do those. So do you guys have any questions about Instagram and Facebook stories? They are the breakout social place to be in 2019. If you're not there, if you don't have your business is there, you need to figure out a way to get there. The beauty of Instagram and Facebook stories are that it's a behind the scenes tool that you can use to make yourself the face of the company and more relatable and give tips. It's a great place to give tips and add value and answer questions about your products or services. It's a great place to get practice on going on camera, because video is now this new amazing thing that we're all being told that we need to get on. And I swear I've been hearing video is hot since 2010. Since our mobile devices have become the hip hop in place to be. All right, so I'm going to delve into some questions, but I kind of wanted to talk about my 3 steps in a little bit more detail. When Instagram stories came out, it was around, like, it was more than 2 years ago, but around this time, 2 years ago, I started watching what the gurus like Sue Zimmerman were saying about Instagram stories, and they were saying this is great behind the scenes tool. It's kind of like Snapchat, but more business friendly. And I will say that Instagram stories is way more business friendly than Snapchat. And they've just created this amazing place for businesses to reach out and touch their consumers or potential consumers. So the first thing I'm going to say is know your audience. Really work on knowing your audience and also giving your audience what they want. Don't worry about followers right now. Really, the new studies are saying focus on your tribe and the rest will follow. And so that's kind of advice I've been trying to follow, though I will be really honest and transparent. I look at my followers every day. I know, not the greatest. But I'm going to see if I can get some more people on Instagram here. So I follow these 3 steps, and my first step was I spent about a week or 2 looking at the bubbles in Instagram stories and kind of seeing what everybody was doing. And then I kind of thought, this is right about the time when I really was starting to expand my business as a social media strategist and digital marketing consultant. How can my clients do these? And so I just started getting on camera, and I started to show my life and show behind the scenes and make myself relatable. Now, I didn't have to make myself relatable. I just was myself, and that's my thing. When you're observing, think about how I can do this and how I can be myself when I'm on Instagram stories. Being on video is daunting. There are filters. If you're not looking that great, you can swipe the black and white one. You can tell when I'm not having a great day because I put the black and white one on. So I sat and I observed on Instagram stories for about 2 weeks. And then I kind of said to myself, I want to do this. How should I do this? And in the beginning, it was really just showing the behind the scenes of my life. It was not showing behind the scenes of my business. That didn't come until January. In December, December 2017, I made a commitment to myself that I was really going to treat my business as a client. And so I started there with just what would I tell a client to do? And I started showing behind the scenes, talking about digital marketing, talking about social media. And that's how I did it differently. And then it just took blocking time out of my schedule and putting themes to every day. So every day in the beginning, I would just be on the fly. And I would say for 6 months that worked. Somebody would ask me a question, and that day I would just answer the question. What I then reverted to doing was taking a notebook and writing those questions down. And then instead of releasing them on the fly on demand, I would hold them to my Tip Tuesdays, and I would kind of wrap the content of that week around my Tip Tuesday. And sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't. But in the beginning, I would just be on the fly, and then I turned to this. I would grab a calendar, and I would mark down my themes for the days, my Tip Tuesdays for the days, for the whole month, my mantras for the month, my Tip Tuesdays for the month, any national days that I wanted to highlight. Like today is National Sibling Day. National Sibling Day. So I posted a very awkward photo of myself about getting through awkward phases and how to get through it. And it just takes time and patience, and that's the key to Instagram stories and Facebook stories. Now what I do is I block them on a paper calendar. I tried to find mine from this month to show you, but I have a blank one. Oh, it's not exactly blank. This is for a client of mine. I write down, like, at the top what the Instagram feed is. Facebook feed is going to be, if it goes to LinkedIn, I'll highlight it so I know I need to post similar content to LinkedIn. So I would kind of color code, and then I would actually put it in Asana. So every day I have a prompt on what I'm supposed to talk about on Instagram stories. Some days I don't, some days I do. I would say 3 times a week, but I put it in Asana. In the beginning, I would keep it on that paper calendar and put it on my regular calendar. But if I have it in Asana, I like to check things off my list, and that's how I get things done for my clients. It's as simple as that, but at the same time, you have to get in the consistency of doing it. So observe, figure out how you can do it differently, and time block and calendar plan your stuff out. I do have to say that it is tough to get on camera. I have a broadcasting degree, and I still find it tough to get on camera. A lot of people say, I don't think that you struggle with this. And I said, no, I do struggle with it. I have gray hairs. I'm not skinny mini. I got my hair cut, and it's in this awkward phase right now. So it's like my hair doesn't look the greatest and blah, blah. In the beginning, when you're doing Instagram stories and Facebook stories, what did Amy Porterfield tell me and everybody at Social Media Marketing World? You're doing it for you more than anybody else. So you need to get on and do it for you, because your audience will eventually switch. And I'm in that phase right now where it's kind of switching, that my audience is interacting. It took a while, guys, but you are sending me questions. You are answering my stickers. You are answering my polls. It's the tides are turning for me. And so I have to say, you just have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. And I would say, try to do it 5 times a week. Try to do your Instagram stories 5 times a week. Now, I haven't said much about Facebook stories, and only thing I will say about Facebook stories is you can send your Instagram stories to your business profile on Facebook for Facebook stories. I suggest doing this when appropriate. Don't send things over that say, click my link in profile. I actually did that. I've done that. So when appropriate, send from Instagram to Facebook. Remember, Facebook is going to start kind of rewarding you. Facebook stories show in chronological order right now. They might not always show in chronological order, but there's a chance. And there was some stat that something like 38% of people are not on the stories, 38% of businesses. And I'm going to check that fact later. So I had some questions about Instagram stories, and I want to address them here. I had a few questions come in, and I love answering them. Technical things. I would like to know, how do I get the swipe up on Instagram stories? The swipe up needs to be for people that have 10,000 or more followers. Now, Jasmine Star stood on the stage of Social Media Marketing World and said, I don't have a business profile and I don't use the swipe up. All businesses should be able to get business or get results from Instagram without the swipe up. So 10,000 or more followers on Instagram will give you this swipe up feature. But big influencers have said they don't use it. So there you go. How do you save to your Instagram archive so you can put into highlights? That is as simple as hitting the 3 dots inside your story and then going on and turning the archive on. And then you can then save it to a highlight by the 3 clicking those photos. After you turn on the archive, you can save it as a highlight and then you can edit the cover and there's all these fun things you can do with it. It's pretty intuitive. It's just everything is done by the 3 little dots on the bottom of your story. This is also the same place that you turn on send the option to Facebook stories as well. So that's the other place. You can also mute people in the back of stories or hide people from your stories as well. I've just recently started muting some people from, or some businesses from stories. And I'm sure I'm muted from some people's, so. All right, next question is, I feel like I'm rambling about stuff and no one wants to listen. Listen, this is limiting belief. People do want to listen to you. If they're following you and you have great content and you're telling them about your products or services, people will listen. You just have to stop this in the back of your head. This is my favorite. These guys. We should name them. Righty and lefty. So you just have to get over it and do it. Just remember that there's people doing it that are in your service or product line, and they're going to outshine and give value and add benefit over you, and they'll get the business. So that's kind of the way I look at it. I have issues getting in front of the camera. Just do it. But you need to do you, and you could do it slowly. It could be as easy as going on 3 times a day with some fun thing that happened to you. But it's just people just get really hung up around their mind is like, I don't look good. I'm say stuff that's stupid. I can't do this. It is really about confidence and being confident. And trust me, I have gotten on live and no one has shown up. So, and it's frustrated me. But I've asked plenty of questions on Instagram stories and nobody has answered. But now in the last few months, people are now wanting to know that. They want to know things. The last question is, how do I have a constant presence, but not always on my phone? And I struggle with this. I'm actually reading a book called Life Scales by Brian Solis about spending less time on your phone, spending less time on electronic devices, being more mindful of your surroundings. I do not allow myself in the stories or to look in the stories until I am done with my work for the day. I do, right after my kids go to school, I will see what my topic of the day is. If I'm ready to talk about it, I will do my stories for the day then, but I normally will not get on any social media or Instagram or stories until after I'm done with all my work for the day, and then I allow myself like 20 minutes to look at the Instagram stories. I will look at them another time during the day, but I have had just huge issues with my phone saying I'm on it 9 hours a day, and I don't want to be on my phone 9 hours a day. I have small kids. So I would say just set a time to do your stories every day and then don't look at your phone. I will get notified if somebody replies, and sometimes I will reply back, but I consider that work. So when I'm mindlessly scrolling, that's not work to me. Another question just come in. Rachel asks, is the saving stories to highlight steps you just mentioned the same process for live videos also? Okay, I think what you're asking is, how do I take my live down and put it up to like IGTV for it to show in your feed? I have a whole I have a video coming out about how I do that. But basically, at the end of this broadcast, up on the top right, there'll be an arrow. You click that, and then it will download to your phone, and then I will edit this, and then I will put it on IGTV, which then sends it to Facebook if I want. I'm not probably going to send this to Facebook. And then I will load it to YouTube. I've toyed around with loading the Facebook to YouTube, but I actually think the Instagram looks better. And though it is portrait mode and not horizontal, I don't really care about that. So hopefully, Rachel, that answered your question. So I'm going to kind of stick around. If you guys have any questions, drop a comment. I'll answer it. If you don't have any questions, I'm going to go about my day. And I got done with my work early. And I'm going to scroll Instagram stories. All right, so I'm going to head out. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next Wednesday. I'm kind of moving the times around to see what works for everybody else. But I'm going to end the broadcast on Facebook. And I'm going to end the broadcast on Instagram. See you later.